love in the crowd. So we will press them forward right now. As we move into the map, you can see the bands, for those who maybe had forgot, will be rotating across the board. So now the bands next to the team are those heroes that they cannot play. So OUG not being able to play Invis, Luna, Mantis. Oh, a total strategist lockdown there, while RAD now play that Venom Cap, more divey style that they love.
Magic main.
As we see the initiation here, Molan up on the top side, trying to put some damage out. Just gonna hold on for now and set up a little bit here on point.
What are you noticing so far, Nectar, in this fight?
I feel like Rad's comp is very strong for this first fight as well. You know, they have Luna Loki, they have the Snowflake for the side lock here on the side angle. You know, being able to take
wow, hey, he's actually really good with the casting.
To actually progress the map space, making Molan's job even harder without like lacking the team of only the Ultron building to help him.
Yeah, that's a great call out as we begin the first fight. Naga gonna fight Taro Cookie.
Yeah, it's Nectar from Sentinels.
Gets a two-piece.
He's good at casting.
You'll love to see that. Level 1 Crook with a pick there, and that
I wasn't even casting. I guess it was like
is just shutting them down before they can even put their feet under them. Yeah, well played, Rad.
They just kind of walked on them there, right? Like what exactly happened there in that they just got walked on?
I feel like Ultron is very hard and difficult, especially when you don't have a suit to help you here. Like you have the Atom Snaps, like. The pressure from the Star-Lord, especially with the side lock on the side angle, like pressuring you is very difficult. The Ultron has to play very safe and very aware of where the enemy DPS are playing, and you know it's really hard on him. But
yeah, we were seeing some players say that you'd be surprised at how much Star-Lord really does help with flyers. Not only
Sharky Girl for 27 months. I appreciate it.
To win, where all you have to do is juke up there in the sky to put out some serious damage. As crystals get pulled out here, Molan just continuing to hold this high ground. Pretty good map here and positioning as we do see the utilization of the team up there for Magneto as we're pressing up here with Naga. Both teams kind of stalling and holding on, but Rad loves that game right now. It's all about staying.
What should I start on? Both.
Gonna find Melio. Spin to win here from Naga.
Carmeless. Appreciate that's a prime sub as well. Welcome.
On the Luna this game.
I mean, right now this fight's kind of extended out, right? Luna's dance for on the objective from Rook, who does get to play that Loki as well. Here comes that miss, unfortunately, from Jaro in the BDRM, but still a pretty extended fight as the Galactic Legend comes out from Naga in this backside of the point. Meanwhile, Terra also trying to come through with Ultron's Rage. And
as a DPS player, using my DPS ult and seeing nothing die, it hurts me.
But Crook has been so evasive, Nectar, right? And, it's followed well onto Naga with a pick off in the sky.
Yeah, that's a couple times now. Asphalt has found some serious value there with Warlock. Warlock getting a little bit of change here as of the last patch, where he does get those heals back relatively quickly. We see Molan just holding on to point here. OUG now really trying to make something happen, but Rad already at 85%.
Wow, the peel for the Luna's insane. Oh, the Luna still died.
Early and just hold for dear life for as long as possible, because then it's a one-fight game as Molan takes out two. Ganbei for another, 2 left, and at this point, 95% on their first take.
What do you notice there, Nectar, from that?
This is still season 3.0, yeah.
Board, right, a lot of times. A lot of pro players talk about how important first point control is. Can you talk about that on Domination on Celestial?
Like it's especially important for OUG to win that first fight against this comp, where they have the Luna, they have the Loki, they have these drawn-out fights that they can have. They can, they can stagger the supporters for the enemy team with Rujaro's Meteor M. It's very difficult for them to actually regain that map space. But now they're in a good spot. They can keep these angles. They can make it hard for Melio and Naga to walk up on them.
Yeah, this is a very traditional composition here, I feel like, or at least last season when I'm looking at Rad. Ganbei, gonna find Melio. Now the crowd starting to get hyped up. Molan doing a good job still putting out this damage, but it's around can they use this space created to find some value, 38% and counting. But remember, one fight game, ultimate advantage gonna be the side of OUG. Spald holding on Hetlot as well. That can help them stay here as Taro Cookie likely using that Ultron's Rage soon to force out level 1 Crook on that Loki. So
I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate Cap. I think I might hate Cap more than I hate Jet now.
A very good strategy for that is using Emma to seduce the backline and hopefully silence them before they get that off. And it is a double whammy if that's possible. Trust me. Walking forward as Melio takes out Taro Cookie before Taro can use that ult, and that's a tough look.
I think Cap is one of the most annoying characters.
On the backside, Bond used. Spald tried to keep them alive, but I mean, Rad kind of coming back into it, get to the point. I mean, Portal play is available here, right, Nectar?
And someone mentioned it in chat as well. When you get Cap very low and you see him disappear, like dash out and like slam out, it's so annoying.
10% is what I would oh, somebody did come through with a touch.
Rajaro is alive with the res.
Rajaro and Ganbei, there is a res there. Taro Cookie using the Ultron's Rage in the off angle as Melio is putting out some damage. Fall with another res on Ganbei though, so the numbers are roughly even. It's all about who finds value with these ults. Melio and Spald with another pick now. Numbers evened out across the board. OT is ticking 72% here for OUG. It is not over as Zhao now finds one. Oh, and they leave the point.
Oh, you
Nectar,
cannot
round
forget
number one.
the
I mean,
point,
by the way,
chat.
Austin,
You
have you here for
cannot
Celestial
forget the
Codex.
point, bro.
But
I have
opinions-
never seen any like so many
I think OUG
C9s
just-
in my life.
To be aware of how they can win, you know, I feel like
I
Riot is
have
playing
never
really well on
seen
the side,
so many
forcing this
C9s in a
Torch
tournament
Ultron
with
to give up their best
$500,000
angles,
on the line.
Trying to like force them to play back, and Ganbei really having trouble to actually go in with the lack of the Luna Snowflake. You know, very difficult for the Cap to live versus this comp.
Okay, on that, yeah, exactly. That's a good point because they're putting so many resources, I guess, into Milan. I mean, do you think that it's fine rotating over that drone from Taro to give it to Ganbei, or not really?
You can, but you know, you just need to be aware of it. You need to know when to push and pull, and you know when to go in, when to get out. Really, just need to be aware of the tempo of the game. And
that's a good point. Yeah, because
Did
it's
you
so
bring
hard.
this
I
tea
think
from
it depends on the
hotel?
competitions and stuff, like you
Oh,
said.
that's really good.
And there's a lot of difficulty I think that comes with you know, switching up comps. I mean, Milan probably feels good, but like you said, you got to think about how Ganbei's doing. Maybe not getting as many resources. So,
yeah, and I'm curious about your thoughts on, you know, maybe it's the fact that since Emma's available here for RAD, it's more difficult to really
I think
put all
RAD
your faith in on the
saved
Cap, who can kind of mark that Cap a bit. So what are your thoughts there?
Mantis. I'm actually really surprised they're not running
Do you
Mantis.
think Emma is a great counter for Cap?
yes,
I guess
feel like
because
Emma,
they got their
especially
Adam
with the
Warlock
lack of
ban, but
something,
still,
very
Mantis I think
Cap,
is
and,
pretty
you know,
good.
things like Phoenix are also
Damage
good because
boost.
of, you know, like you said before, but you mentioned the strategies element. But I think the melee cancel, especially against these dive tanks, dive characters, is very strong. You know, just forcing them out and like relieving the pressure from your supports.
We saw you doing that actually, which was really cool. As we begin now, Molan trying to press forward, keep the the pressure on. Ganbei does have that Ultron drone now. As Taro Cookie is pressing forward. Naga with the bubble. That is a traditional comp we have seen run in the past as Melio cleans up Molan, and they are walking forward. More damage on a Ganbei who escapes.
See, there you
now.
go.
Melio
Ganbei was low,
still
Captain
keep out
America,
that
and he's
pressure,
still
ultimate
alive. Oh,
advantage.
now he goes
Roughly
down.
towards the side of RAD. Ganbei is going to fall there at 98%. That's a tough look as a Cap who will use that to keep themselves healthy. Melio onto Spald now. Trust me, onto Zhao, and at this point the numbers are dwindling as they cap early.
Jay, you
Once
still
again,
play
big
Star-Lord?
competition.
Yeah, I still play Star-Lord.
I mean, that first point, man, it happened again. It didn't RAD
Play
take
everything.
point
Golden
first
for
last
42
time.
months. I appreciate it.
Right now,
Thank
RAD
you.
just putting themselves in the driver's seat, Nectar. It just seems like
Hope
OUG
you've
are
been
kind of struggling.
enjoying
At least they have ults for this
your
next
travels,
fight, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's really important to
Do you
get
still
the
play
match
Jeff?
value
I've
that you
never
can
played
out of
Jeff
this
in a day in
Cap
my
early.
life,
You
chat.
need to
Come on.
make first action, try to force one of the spoilers early, you know, try to make it hard for them, put them in a bad spot so your Torch can actually, you know, get on top of them and actually put that pressure on.
That's a good point, yeah, because also the Meteor M as well there to maybe counter Milan with his ult when it comes through. But like you said, you have to put so much,
What did I
put so
say?
much pressure with those Stratus ults. Like you
3-1?
mentioned
You said
earlier.
2-3.
Out we go early with the Eternal Bond downtown. Does get shielded up. We're talking about RAD using those bubbles very effectively. Rajaro doing a great job, and it does work very well with Star-Lord. Can get that out very quickly. Hyper aggro there when he's spinning with the bubble, as we do see, trust me, try to chase down with Psionic Seduction. Naga gonna clean out Molan. They are still pressing forward as the res comes up. It's all about resing one. Remember, you are the beacon for that res on Warlock. It is not the location of the beacon as Fall walks forward and does pick up Molan there. That is good work. And we see another ult here from Naga. How quick can they get these? Again, just waiting this out. And that's going to help not feed that Meteor. Very smart and patient decision-making here by Naga, who has driven.
Oh, he still was able to get that kill. Wow.
And he just picked them off in the last second. I mean, they peeled so well for it, right? But unfortunately for them, still giving up that point. I mean, RAD is just kind of dominating right now.
Of course, you know, Headlock is just unfortunate. He's peaking the Star-Lord role, you know. Happens time and time again, you know, even on stage, it's kind of hard. Sometimes the lights are just too bright.
That's it. I always speak about that. Nerves come in as such a factor for Rajaro. On a Zhao again.
Nerves.
On Spald. It's all about
Nerves,
those right
chat.
clicks playing
Nerves.
very clean. Now it's all about accuracy. It's very difficult to hit a Torch who is active in the sky, especially if they do have something like an Ultron drone or Luna Snow with the Crystal. Melio gonna find Spald there though. Alt advantage.
It's a good strat.
The side of
a lot of
RAD.
teams do that.
There's a
Ban
Lord
4
Crook now
supports,
holding
and
on. Trust me,
you
very
have
close
to
Rajaro
work
there.
around that.
Taro Cookie almost, but no, as Melio gets two and Naga finds two as well. Just sweeping, and that is
that's one of the rare cases where you just lose at the ban phase. I mean, banning 4 of those supports, that's wild work.
The problem there, I think, for RAD as you know, I mean, sorry, not
that was
OUG.
That was a dominant,
that
that was a dominant
Loki
match.
got on the opposite side. I mean,
RAD is
Psylocke to have to deal with
EU.
somebody like Loki who's so evasive.
Well, OUG wants to play for the Torch value a lot, and I feel like they just left too many answers to Torch open from the side of RAD. You know, there was too much to deal with the Torch Ultron with not enough support for them.
So what do they have to do in this upcoming ban phase? Like, what do you think that they have to change up to give themselves more answers? Hard question, I know. Sorry about that.
Nice. I feel like there's not many things that can change just
Okay.
alone, but you know, it's like up to
Ooh, delicious.
it's, you know, not just on one person, one thing can't change, you know, in general.
Right.
Wait, so we learned that banning four supports is
pointless,
pointless,
I
right?
need to shout out from RAD is I think they're known as a team that does
Banning
do
four
more
supports
unique
is
compositions.
smart. You make the other team go on like
Jeff composition.
characters that
how to really
are not
and play against it.
usually
But
good.
this, what they just ran there, was very traditional, and it looked absolutely dominant. Are they another one of those teams that do not have an issue with hero pool, or do you think maybe this was just more so on the downside of OUG?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like there are some weaknesses when comparing to Citadel that RAD does have.
I think I
in
turned
certain
it a little
spots
too
and
hot.
certain hero pools, but I feel like they are still capable of playing, you know, that standard 2-2-2 combat at a very high level. I feel like a lot of people want to talk about that Venom Jeff comp that they do play because they've been so strong and so dominant and so many times.
Yeah.
But you know, even when they're standard, as we've just seen, they can still dominate some teams.
And, you know, on that, I mean, who do you think, for this whole tournament, do you think RAD is favored to even win the whole thing? And we heard, you know, rumors, there's whispers.
I mean, there was a
RAD
strat
doing
as
so
well
in scrims
against
versus basically
Sentinels.
everybody except
They were trying to
what do you
ban
think
out
about
like
RAD? I know that
Crimzo's
they've been a solid
hero
team
pool,
behind the scenes,
so they
but
were
is
targeting
it
him. They
looking
banned
like
his
the
Captain
same
America,
team
and they
on
banned
stage?
like his Magneto, and they
Yeah,
banned like
feel
I think his
feel like
Strange or
it's really
something.
anyone's game that's in the game right now. You know, like everyone's in the tournament is capable of winning. It's really, as I said before, it's who shows up that day, who can perform. You know, it's really.
Well, and you know, on that actually, speaking about on the right day and on performing, well, you called out, speaking about being right in predictions, unlike me most of the time, you said RAD won the draft, right? That was something that you said, and after the fact, you said it's because they didn't have enough answers. So maybe there's something they could figure out in the draft phase that could help them out. But like you said, RAD has so many answers, it's tough. Like, even if you have to pick your poison here, right? Maybe in this next one, I think we want to give you another chance to predict because you got the first one right. Yo, surely you can't go 3-0,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Surely we're just unlucky, and this guy's not actually just some gigabrain compared to us.
He looks so
That would be-
sad
see.
being
That'd
up
be
there
rough.
doing some casting.
Yeah,
Nice to
that's
see
true.
them include him, but that must be
That's
tough.
it.
Well, he doesn't look sad. He's actually putting in some
We've seen
great
a few
input
of
and
those in the
whatnot.
last few days, but something I'm
I
curious
think
about,
maybe
you talked about
he
being
might be
successful on some
nervous
of
because
these
he's not
lock-ins. Who do you
ever
think,
been on the
if you had to guess right now,
on
wins this
the
entire tournament? 'Cause I
broadcast?
would love to know way ahead of time if you called it. We all had to do it. You're on the caster's booth now.
The caster's
Join
booth,
us.
there you go.
Who do you pick
All the
to
pressure
win this
for you.
tournament?
All the pressure for you.
I pick Envy. I'll pick Envy to
Pick
win.
Envy?
Join me.
Next year.
You join me.
Next season.
All right.
Let's go.
Is it because of North America? I mean, I said Sentinel. You guys let me down. Like, what do you?
That's a brutal call.
Maybe that's
What do
me.
you have to say about that? You let your hero Dogman let you down, right?
You
That
know,
was.
I've been watching since I was a young kid, since I was about 11 years old, which
And-
is when he started competing.
Yep. And then what do you
When
think
they were the
about?
same size.
Exactly. Yep. Back in, I stopped growing in middle school, so
Oh, been there,
my
baby.
clothes still fits me. Middle school.
Damn.
Same pair of shorts.
That's a
I
win.
think Envy has really shown up, especially in these high pressure situations. You know,
Right.
they've consistently shown up, and throughout the tournament, especially here in China on stage, they look really themselves. You know, they're always playing their style. I feel like they've never looked on the back foot.
What's their weakness, you think? Like, what's the number one problem with Envy? Like, where do they struggle? Because there's not a lot of teams that seems like they've found an answer to a team like Team Envy from North America, the region that obviously you came from, and you've scrimmed against them as well. And I think actually this is a better question, maybe to rephrase it, is Shib was talking about how, and by the way, Rojaro MVP played so phenomenal last map on Magneto, able to create so much space with his Meteor M's. Just kind of,
Those Meteor M's, especially on the first round, onto the Cloaco in that last fight, finding the kill onto the.
right.
Jay, does Envy or 100 Thieves get a loser's bracket after today? Yes. So whoever does lose between Envy and 100 Thieves does go down to the loser's bracket. So hypothetically, let's just say this for an example. Hypothetically, let's just say Envy beats 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves can go. It's double elimination. So if they lose, they go down to the lower bracket. And let's say 100 Thieves beats the lower bracket, they come back up, and we'll have a rematch of Envy and 100 Thieves. And I don't know if the finals is a best of 7 or 5, but it should be a best of 7.
How is Envy doing so well here, and then they
Should be.
do that well in stage 1? What do you think is the
I
reason?
think Envy, like all their players,
Best of 7?
you know, especially the coach Gator, really stepped up to make sure their team was very well prepared.
Since you didn't stream on my birthday, can you wish me a happy birthday, please? 8/8. I did stream on your birthday,
especially in scrims, because it's
just not in your time zone.
only us.
Happy birthday, Miss Bamboo. I hope you had a great birthday. You know what? I hope you have a great birthday weekend.
Local regions.
Absolutely.
I would sing, but I'm sick right now, and I don't. My vocals aren't warmed up.
Sort of make this work and kind of figure out, because I think this is the first time in like any hero shooter we have like ever done.
Oh, it's
like
awesome.
A tri-cast. It's like never happened. Like when I was a player, the casters never came over and like, hey, come cast with us. So it really is awesome.
I feel very thankful and blessed to have this opportunity. You know, it's very fun being here. I love talking about the game. You know, I love playing the game.
No, you're so passionate. That's what we're talking about. Like literally, we mentioned on broadcast. You talked to us about how you guys like lost, obviously, and then you're like, I just want to go play ranked.
Yo!
Like, you're saying, I just want to go play ranked. Yeah. Like you are.
Dogman, stop reminding him that he lost.
New patch came
That was
out,
like the
you know,
20th time.
Yeah, you can get
while we're on that train, I need to, like, what do you think about Blade? Do you have any takes? Still too early? Might be too early.
I feel like it's too early. You know, I feel like Spectator's gonna figure it out. I feel like, you know, his numbers by what I've seen in rank, he does pretty decent. You know, but I feel like we might be looking at a Wolverine situation, you know, or like an Ultron, you know, where people haven't figured out the character where he fits best.
Yes, I do both, MG.
It'll just take a little time.
Yeah, because people can be.
I'm just not home right now.
Remembers when like Wolf, everybody saying how terrible he was, right? Did you have any like takes that you think aged poorly? Like, did you think a character was terrible and they ended up good as we entered?
Who did Sentinels lose to? Sentinels lost to actually the team that just played right now, Citadel.
For doing that and opening it up.
Well, so like,
definitely.
what was
CTG.
exactly like I don't know. Like originally we were like, okay, this character was terrible, right? Even though he had.
No, Sentinels lost to CTG.
Just nobody figured out how to play him because everybody's playing, I guess, more in the open. Let's cover like use and stuff like that, maybe, or like. Because people figured out, I think, the play style of this game, especially what you're playing, like, you're hiding a lot more, right? Like, you're not just doing something.
Sentinels
like,
lost to RAD?
You're taking
no, Sentinels did lose to RAD 3-0, but then they got to the lower bracket, and yeah, Citadel. That was a great game. Citadel gaming against Sentinels, that was a great fucking game.
There's a lot more emphasis on, like, you know, just shooting.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I feel like in this game, like, there's a lot more
Sentinels lost to RAD and CTG, both the number 1 NA spot lost to the 2 EU teams.
Would you say that this game is definitely the closest to like a MOBA for a lot of games? Like, it's just like there's so much macro that you have to kind of do and play well, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's very macro intensive, but it's also like you have the ability to, you know, your micro, your mechanics, they can like bail you out of tough situations, you know, like if you're able to.
I think, the RAD versus Envy, I think was literally the. I think that was.
Even Bucky, you know, like Bucky does so much damage up close.
No, RAD versus Envy. I think you're talking about Citadel versus Envy. That was a great game. RAD versus Envy was a 3-1. The first match of the tournament was Citadel and Envy, and that was a really great game. The reverse. That was a reverse sweep.
I really think that
was a great game. This tournament has actually been a lot of fun because usually when I co-stream or watch all these tournaments, there's a lot of 2-0s, 3-0s, 3-1s. No, a lot of these games have been very close, 2-3s, 3-2s, crazy.
I know that obviously RAD is a very strong team in terms of flexibility. What's the weakness of OUG then from the outside looking in? And you've scrimmed them twice, but you know you don't really get a lot. You have what? So 4 hours total basically against these guys in practice, and it's tough to really call out.
OUG versus Reject was another great game,
yeah. Make you like roast anybody specifically, but what do you think the flexibility isn't there? Where do you think the weakness is in this team? If you were counter-stratting against OUG, what would you try to force them?
Wait, did he mention that they lost again?
But you
did he say that?
Know a lot about this game.
Well, I feel like OUG's best bet of winning is Torch, but I feel like the way to play against Torch.
Dude, I think Dogman told that.
I feel like
Nectar lost like 50 times already.
Yeah, right.
They left the answers open, too.
I feel like he needs to have, like, you know, a Sue and an Ultron, or like a Luna and Ultron, Luna and Sue, something like that.
You know how funny it would be if Dogman was like, oh, so I have another question. Since you lost,
you know, be able to have that damage consistently all the time.
And really maximize his hitbox movement potential.
Well, you know what's actually really funny? You lost, right? So, I mean, hey, you lost.
Excuse me. And all those Ultron bot on the Torch allows you to utilize that movement speed, utilize that melee animation, juke around, and during that small amount of time, you're gaining hundreds of HP.
The difficulty then becomes, because of what Nectar said and what you've mentioned, Shib, when they have to, you know, go back to the pick ban, which we're here now, if they protect the Luca or the Luna, then they lose the Torch.
Did you just say Luca?
So, like, what do you do in that situation?
You gotta protect the Luca?
You said that you need the Luna, but, like, what if you protect the Torch?
Jay, what time is it for you? It is 1:10
another
p.m.
You know, bad thing for OUG's, especially in the last map, was, you know, the presence of the Loki.
It's a 12-hour difference from
like this tap, Torch, dive kind of style, and it's very difficult to play because you can't have the first hit, and you can't, like, always, you know, connect on a, you know, elimination on one of their supports. But here we see OUG banning Loki second instead of the Venom, you know, offering to play more for their dive, for their Snowflake, you know, for their cap. value here.
Well, and you called this super early on. You talked about the Luna Snow, how important it was, and OUG tends to agree with you here, it looks like.
Yeah, I feel like Luna is very important, especially in this tournament.
You're good,
you know,
Kev.
like
all my reactions to the games are going to be on my YouTube channel anyways.
Opens up so many more opportunities for your DPS, for your flankers, you know, for characters like Cap, for characters like Ultron.
Jay, what is the character tier list?
Hello sometimes.
Didn't the new season literally just come out?
And she'll be able to soon help with some of that dive with the team up with Warlock, depending on how the Warlock feels on this new patch. I'm curious if that becomes an answer to dive as well. You don't think so? I'm curious. Yeah, okay.
I haven't really seen much of it, but you know, I saw like, you know, when you click on the hero, it shows you
surviving.
Like,
they'll start.
It looks pretty broken.
Looks pretty broken.
Pretty good.
You know, we'll recap the ban phase and pick ban phase after this, but you know, on that note, Nectar, since you play a ton of Psylocke, what's it like? At least, how do you deal with a Psylocke on the other side if they have the Snowflake and you do not? Is there a specific thing you do, or is there anything you can do besides have for a Luna Snow? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, you can. You can play a lot more. Like, you can shoot tanks. So I feel like that's a big plus about Psylocke. You know, these other dive characters like BP, Magic. Like, it's very hard for them. They actually play through main. You know, they have to go on these deep flanks. They have to look for the sports. But I feel like
if
Psylocke,
it's 10 p.m., it's probably the West Coast.
Yeah, good point.
Her passive, you know, she gets 2 seconds off. She gets the full projectile, you know, off her cooldown. So you can spam the main fight. And then when their Psylocke is looking for the engage with the Snowflake, if they're playing the dive comp, you can like look to fight her with your team helping you there.
Beautiful.
Instead of going like deep into the angle.
You heard it here, Psylocke players lock in on the tank if the enemy Psylocke is going against you with Crystal or some sort of protection. That's a really good call out. Help change your play style a little bit. Stop trying to take those 1v1s and lose nonstop.
And here we hear OUG in the back of the crowd.
Crazy
with the support.
Oh yeah, they got some good fans over here in China, in Guangzhou. RAD up 1 against OUG for $500,000. They need to keep their tournament hopes alive, and OUG on the opposite side, they still have some time to work with. We talk about momentum and stuff, and RAD
not gonna lie,
it,
my beloved Psylocke got replaced by Blade.
Nah,
there's
no
no way,
screen
bro.
here, Nectar. I know that we didn't talk about it for a moment, but real quick, who won the ban phase in 3 seconds?
What's up, Good? Why aren't you on the couch? Exclamation mark watch party.
I'll take it to you. I'll agree with you, whoever won, Dustin. This on
What do you mean you can't put it on me? You were right the first time. I'm going to be wrong now. Now you've jinxed yourself. I got RAD probably winning it in this place, you know, obviously because the Mantis protecting stuff, but Shib takes
who do I have winning this one? I have RAD.
Folks, Melio starting to put some damage out onto Ganbei, who took that early side angle. A lot of teams try to hold tight here off the rip, maybe with triple triples, one of those maps that it is on the table. Not looking to do that here for OUG, who elects to run more of a traditional.
Uh-oh. Yo, chat, what's going on? Chat.
Composition, a lot of hit scan here, and just strong vanguards on the board. Taro on the high side now, putting a ton of damage out. Great positioning. It's all about owning that high angles and trying to not allow the opposition, if they do have something like a Psylocke, to press through, as Naga is just trying to find that angle. Trust me, on the most, I would say, trusted hero in the belt there. Very, very strong play on that Venom, one of the strongest Venoms in the game, and definitely sets up those combinations like crazy. So here we go again. Naga gonna drop down onto the point, and at this point, RAD not really being too contested on point, feeling pretty confident. It's almost like OUG's kind of playing on their heels here. What do you think about that, buddy?
Yeah, I feel like it's very hard, especially, you know, when RAD is on this Venom Mantis. You know, trust me, able to like control the map so much. You know, control the tempo of this map. It's very hard for your OUG.
No. What's going on, chat? What's going on?
Like play against the style.
Wow,
to be able to solo kill supports, you know?
Right. Yeah,
absolutely. He has like so much individual value, and I feel like I always come back to that, but...
As we begin again, Taro finding some serious value. We always talk about Phoenix and how good Phoenix is at this level of play. Well, goes to show you right there. Still got that hit scan potential, not only able to pull out that anti-dive, that brawl more style, really can fit any role, as was discussed by Nectar. We start the next fight here. Naga trying to find that off angle. Molan gonna be coming in here, and
he canceled his ult.
Find a ton of work with that ultimate. Instead, does force out Crook to use Mantis with that resurgence as they walk forward. One goes down as Naga takes out Ganbei, and at this point, RAD are looking so dominant in these games.
Do you think we'll get Ignite
What's happening right now? I mean, they're just constantly pressing him back. Headlaw just force ulting out here as well as the Feast of the Abyss comes out, but at least they're alive. But you know, this point, they have to touch it last second, right, Nectar? I mean, they're just getting absolutely mollywopped here in the Streets phase, or in the middle, the first part of the map.
Yeah, Naga with these dancing butterflies forcing them to either stack and lose their supports or just
How's China so far? Pretty good. I'm gonna explore after the whole tournament's done. It's
right?
just
like
that
when
I'm
you
sick.
play this map, right? To go
Why are
back
there
to,
no
'cause
Korean
I know you
teams?
guys
There
are
was a
looking
Korean
for
team
loss on this
yesterday,
map, right?
but
or at least
they
in this
just
tournament.
lost.
What do you think? How are they playing this? So, you know, I know that Sentinels is specifically very good.
They lost to the
Here.
OUG
I feel like
actually.
the most important part of this map is to make sure
Yesterday.
you get more than just that one fight. I feel like you want to really try to push the cart and stop. This is very good for map, forcing the invisible boundary out away from the cart, getting that free payload progress, not even being able to touch.
Who do you think is a character that should be
Yeah.
played that hasn't been
And
played?
another ultimate force on Ganbei, it's like, oh, Naga dies.
Yeah,
That's
this
a
is
great question.
brutal right now. It just looks like I don't know. It's a
Namor.
lockdown, but we do see some.
We haven't
press
seen a lot of
backwards
Namor.
here from the side of OUG. Taro Cookie seemingly putting a lot of that pressure out there with the standard hit scan damage. Team's going to reset back to the point. Zhao is ready with the dance floor, but it's going to be matched right back with Fate, who does not need to break off of this more traditional composition for them. Melio dealing a ton of damage. Naga running in as Trust Me once again, showcasing how strong they are on the Venom. The pocket pick no longer banned.
Yeah,
Now
that's what's
showcasing
actually
why
really
it was
cool. A
banned
lot
in
of the
first
teams
place.
here focus
As
to Phoenix
Mulan
before
is
Phoenix
ready
goes
here
around.
with the dance of the
So the
butterfly.
ult
Goes
is
up
like
onto
useless.
height.
I wish
Dropping
people
in
did that
now.
in
Out we
comp.
go. Notice that circle in the center. That is where they were appear towards the end. Good out as Rajaro finds Taro Cookie. Numbers back in the favor of RAD as they walk forward. Trust Me again.
Trust Me is
Naga
disgusting.
onto Mulan. They
Trust
are
Me is
just
a
walking them
disgusting
down
player.
as Naga gets a two-piece.
You talked about Nectar. I mean, Trust Me is doing work on Venom.
Yeah, I was saying with me and my friends that we say that Trust Me just does double damage on Venom. I feel like his tendrils just always hit and do the maximum
Trust
damage
Me,
he possibly
wow.
can. I feel like he's so practical in his character, so polished. I feel like,
the
especially
best
like
BP
if
you
you're
know?
Rad, you really want him
Emily.
on this character. You want him on Guru. You want him on
Yeah.
Venom. You want him on these, these practice things that he can, do the most on.
Stalling now, shit, but man, this is going to be last second.
Ooh, one versus
Yeah,
Purple
at this point, they do get the touch
Citadel.
off there.
Citadel's
Ganbei
Purple
trying to work towards that
They won.
ultimate Psylocke in the back line from Naga. Not able to find too much value. Just force out some cooldowns. Taro starting to stack that passive. As you can see, it's spreading. Trust Me. Finding a good angle there. Jumps right in towards the back line with Ultron Drone. Out goes Boundary now.
That's a good ult.
It is going to be held up by Sfald, giving them enough space to stay on point. Great location of that now. Hetlot trying to retake this space. Great crystal pop. If you are Emma v Emma, you want to dance around that shield and put that shield out to protect your crystal anytime it does get pulled, and pull it back right after, because you can build laser charge on that and help stall it at 100%. Hetlot though, going to take
what
out
a
Trust
pull.
Me, and that
What a
is gonna
pull
help
to
match
get
a
the
little
kill.
bit, as it's going to be more difficult on the high angle dives here from the Venom when Emma's in these tight quarters.
That was a huge force physics right at the end.
Especially that, that invisible woman, making it hard for them to actually swing out after the engage, putting even that more pressure on Trust Me to play better. And we see him going over to the Guru here now. And I feel like not talked about enough is Melio, being that DPS, being able to fill there, fill the gaps in the comps and playing what his team needs him to play. And always, I feel like he's always performing very solidly or playing very well.
That brings up an interesting discussion that we can have later about flexibility in practice, but yeah.
No, we kind of had that discussion, earlier, where it was like more so, do you need someone that flexes in a more mainline lockdown of a few heroes as two separate? But I'll get your answer in that in a second, as we do see Crystal pop the whole team beginning this fight. We have ults ready for OUG, but RAD is very close to almost all 6, and this is going to be a fight in their favor with 30 seconds on the clock. OUG is holding.
Last fight is going to be an
close to 6 as well.
ult
This is going to be a battle, folks. It's all about the initial pick. A ton of damage there from Melio. As we just discussed, a very strong duelist. Out goes the invisible boundary. Significantly shorter cooldown.
Oh, that was a big ult, but I don't think they're going to get any value.
Nope,
no value.
There from Naga.
No value, chat. That was a fat ult, but nothing.
Ganbei finds one, and Ganbei with 2. They may hold on point 2
Oh.
here. Can OUG shut this down as Mulan finds Melio?
I don't think they have a TP as well. I don't even think they have. No, they don't have the TP.
Stops them.
I don't even think they can touch.
Wow, Rad getting
That's a good
ult.
ult.
Especially with ults up.
That's a good ult.
I mean,
like
that was crazy.
That is. You guys might not think that's a very far push, but I've seen a lot of teams lose and win around that area. So.
Well, I feel like Midtown, especially on that second point, is such
that is
map
still
to
a
actually
great
get in
push.
on, especially when you're a team like Rad where you want to play this dive style. But I feel like the most important part of this map is your first hold. How good can you hold first, and can they even make it past first? Because first is a long point. The corners are very hard to turn.
Yeah, I think they switched to Wolverine because they went to
second phase, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I feel like every time especially as in the Americas region, we were seeing a lot more Thing on point 2. That's like the very few time Thing was more of a meta pick, because it's much more of one of those rare brawly locations, right? You find yourself finding success with Brawl in there.
Right, yeah, that's a great point, Chip. The brawl definitely matters a lot here. And
who won last match, CTG or GZ?
This, by the way, is the map that RAD beat DP.
CTG.
To close it out and send send BB home, I believe. So it was the exact same situation. RAD did not full cap out in second phase, and then they held them right before that ramp. Like, what do you think? Do you have to change your playstyle, Nectar? This is actually a really good question, I think, to ask you, because do you have to change your playstyle based on where that car ended up? Like, do you have to maybe take more forward fights, or do you still want to fight in those advantageous spots and maybe give up more cart space?
I feel like you can still take the same amount of fights in the same paces, because it's basically capped here, you know? Like, you can still take the same
I thought you were talking to my dad. What's up, just Latte?
It does matter if, like, it's a little bit closer,
talking to my
right?
dad.
Yes.
Which is funny because that's exactly where you guys actually turned that fight around from Sentinel Citadel. Is the exact right on that ramp like you're mentioning and forced them to take those earlier fights. So really good call out and hits right at home because that's where you landed that huge ult there for Hella with a Goddess of Death. And up we go again for Trust Me.
I thought my dad was here. I was about to say at 1:30 in the morning for him.
Rajaro going to stand on point. I do think Emma playing around point is a strong suit here, especially early on in this map. Rajaro going to pull out Crystal. Crystal v Crystal both out. It's all about walking out of that zone, using your shield to protect that, because it does do a ton of burst damage. Melio, Milan, both very close. Melio going to retake, though, does have Crystal. There's that battle. It is going to be matched on both sides, as both of them are evenly set up on the strategist line's protections.
Right now, just playing it slow. Melio, again, I mean, it's happened before, Shib. Opening pick, I mean, Melio, you talked about it earlier, too, Nectar. He kind of is just popping off on Psylocke at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like Melio's one of his best characters is Psylocke. I feel like he's always consistently performed and done very well on his character. Like, I know we haven't seen him much, but a lot, you know, however many moons ago, but Melio would play a lot of torch, especially in the EMEA, and he was very dominant on that character. But, you know, I feel like having a player like him.
What?
Naga.
Why was Naga so far
That's a nice
there?
dive here. Headlock going to get 2 Ps. Make that
OUG
3.
actually might
Headlock
get this.
really showcasing Emma's strengths in these tight quarters. Do not get in diamond form close. Don't get near an Emma in diamond form in close quarters like that. Just going to be CC'd, knocked around, and destroyed as they press through the first corner. A pretty difficult point to walk through, but they may teleport back for the bridge. They're not going to like to do that. They do have a quick team.
Yeah, we're probably going to fight towards this ambulance side coming up in a moment, but shit, man. Like, that was crazy. Like, they not even do it with triple Vanguard, triple Strategist. I know you guys like to play that spawn camp sort of style, but Chip, we're going to enter this next fight towards this ambulance again in this really long, like you said,
okay, chat, you're about to see 12 ults pop off.
This Phoenix,
both teams have all their ults. Who's going to win the ult trade-off?
OUG going to pop out with the invisible boundaries fall. Going to keep the team healthy. Ganbei ready. Zhao ready. Taro and Hetlot all ready. And on the opposition, similar story. Melio, Trust Me, Rajaro, and Crook all ready to make a play as well. Who finds value last time? It was OUG. Will it happen again? Taro does land on Trust Me, and it does happen again.
Wow.
Can they walk with that momentum? You got to stack inside that Phoenix. Up we go with another. Does it land for value? It does not. Melio going to take out Taro on the way over, so that is some good defense. It's just very much back and forth here.
Yeah, absolutely back and forth at the moment. I mean, Sonic Seduction going to wear off for Rajaro, trying to peel back for the side of Melio. Milan on the side, like actually doing a good job matching him. But still, minute 23 seconds left on the clock. I mean, RAD recap too right now, Nectar.
And we will proceed. Milan going to be playing on this point.
No,
here.
this is a lower bracket
damage
game.
Up in the sky we go. Bang! Down comes Venom. Does
Loser
not land.
goes home,
Tries to force out cooldowns like we had talked about prior. A quick little jump in, utilizing those abilities, forces people to think you will use your rotation, so no need to use it. Just get ready for another dive without those cooldowns against you. Out we go. Trust Me, gonna hold on. Does have that. Oh no! And out we go with a Psylocke immediately. Dance of the Butterfly. Whole team stacks on it. Doesn't see a lot of damage get poured out there. Fate gonna launch that ult out for the side of RAD. Trust Me, ready to feast. Does it collide? It does not. Sometimes you can get perfect timing, and in the new patch, you can actually choose to turn on easy swinging, which is nice. It'll actually give you the chance to use that dunk pretty quickly. Taro Cookie onto Fate. Bang goes Ganbei on another. Can Ganbei get a pick here now? Holding on tight. OUG got 26 seconds
the
to
fact
move
that he
this
actually
thing.
did that is
A few
crazy.
more meters, 2 more left if they want to press through and hold on.
Well, Trust Me, getting that damage buff that you talked about earlier. I mean, finding Ganbei, RAD are trying to make it work, but Taro, he equalized it up with Melio.
Yeah, and again, numbers up in RAD's favor. Another pick once more. Excuse me, as Melio does go down. Trust Me on his fall, but now numbers are up in RAD's favor as Naga takes out Milan.
This is bad for OUG, bro.
Overtime
I thought OUG
started.
was going to take
sure
this.
You're dancing now. You can play a little bit with that bar, but you can't do it for too long. And we see Rajaro try to pull out an ult. Trust Me onto Taro, Ganbei onto Fate. numbers still on the side of, oh, not anymore. Now RAD back up. Headlock gonna try to find a
No
pin.
way they're turning this. There's no way.
Good idea on the height. Sometimes it's worth jumping on that bust to the right, but you have to make sure you're still on point. Very afraid to jump off. Milan still doing damage. They are gonna find Rajaro and Naga. Headlock still gonna get another pick, and that is point one as they move forward.
Oh my god, and the portal was right there, bro.
I mean, that was such a good hold from RAD
my
in the very
god.
last second.
What's up,
like,
Lucas?
that's insane what happened there, Nectar.
I am
mean, I know
so
what's your overall
surprised that
thoughts on
OUG
first
won that
point.
fight.
That was an incredibly long hold, but eventually RAD had to give it up.
Yeah, I feel like Molan swapping.
That was a good hold, though. That was a good hold. Now, can RAD cap all of second?
I feel like it's very hard for Rajar to actually live there. But
100
you know,
Thieves,
really
yeah,
well
100
played
Thieves is
from
the
Headlock
next game.
and the rest of his team, you know, finding those kills, finding that, you know, that clutch ultimate, forcing them back, you know, opening
Damn,
up
they
opportunities for their
barely
team.
almost got that TP. Barely
Yeah,
got that
Headlock's
TP
really
down,
surprising me on this Emma. I know a very strong Vanguard, but looking really clean out there right now. Melio gonna try to make a play. He does force out another cooldown on the side of Sfald, but Sfald gonna take out Rajaro. They're riding this momentum. Momentum so impactful in this game after map one like that. Seeing OUG perform is what, oh, as I say that though, trust me, taking out Molan. Melio gonna take out Sfald. Down goes Zhao.
They need to build their ults for the next fight, though.
Headlock falls. Naga popping off here, but alts will be up for OUG.
Yeah.
Can they make a play and push this thing
I
through?
think RAD does not have a good ult economy right now. They won the fight, but there's still a minute.
When they're down one,
OUG almost has their Luna and their...
Yeah, I feel like, trust me, it's just, you know...
And Captain America.
Like, as we
oh, no, they're going to have
before,
all 6 ults for this next fight.
He's always aware
RAD
of,
only,
you know,
RAD only has
help
3
his
ults,
team and
almost.
where he's
They have
going, you know,
Fates and
so
then
they're always aware of
Rajaros.
what he's doing.
I think OUG is going to win probably with
trust me, knows to play his life and get out.
with ults. Plus, RAD can't TP. They already TP'd first point.
OUG, 56 seconds left to go. Taro.
That was an awesome melee cancel, for example, right there. That was exactly what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And right now, they have to keep it up, right? Making sure Trust Me's gone, but he can swing back on Venom.
Wait, what was that? Wait, did he just get the person that was invisible?
Take out Melio,
Holy shit, did you guys see that?
Down goes one Phoenix, and another falls, but with ultimate and is reborn. Fate gonna get tackled and pays for it as Headlock gets another pick. Will they be able to ride this thing through? And we will see. You got to make sure you got 28 seconds here. Got to play on point. Trust me. Got to find Sfald. What? Naga onto Headlock through that tight corridor. I can't believe, trust me, was able to get so much value.
Level 1 Crook's going to have Luna ult too, and they have Melio's ult. And they have Trust Me. Trust Me and level 1 Crook in combo.
You got 14 seconds left. You got to make plays with these ults. Level 1 Crook about to be there too with Melio.
10 seconds left indeed, Ship. They're going to delay a little bit longer. Gombe able to slow things down. Taro into the sky as well, but Crook is there to counter it. Do they have any ults yet? They need to build them quickly without losing anybody.
And 85% here. Last stand almost back up, which is wild here for Milan, and they are still walking forward. They do have point caps back in their favor. Remember, you got to stay on it, and they do. Melio going to find Zhao, though, and that is a strategist down. Headlock finds Fate and evens the odds, as both of which will now have a strategist. Headlock goes down from Crook. Strategist revenge, if you will, from level 1 Crook, and now it's about playing patiently. Can they get the team back here in time? Can they make a TP play if available? Naga, trust me
OUG's
again,
dying 1 by 1.
Should do it as 3 fall.
OUG's dying 1 by 1.
Is huge. Not sure it can get there in time, and it does not.
It's because I mean, you have to drop out of the window first on this map. It's so different than every other map. And
that
right
was
there,
that. I feel like OUG
is like OUG stepped it up on that, and they did.
I feel like they're playing a little passive.
Offense stuff like with the earlier game with Ground Zero.
RAD just they had the ults and everything. All they had to do was just go in.
Sort of a similar thing, right? It's maybe this map. I mean, what do you think?
RAD is doing really well.
Hold sometimes, especially in second phase.
Yeah, RAD is doing really well. Remember, they went through the loser bracket to make it to the main stage.
You know, it's very important on like how well you do, if you can even get past first, because I feel like, especially us and a lot of teams as well, they want to offer that triple tank spawn hold. You know, even we see some teams playing like that Venom Cap, Luna Ultron thing.
Okay, you want to take over and do your thoughts?
It's really good because you can burn so much
I gotta go pee again.
the bank on that first corner. Like, you know, maybe like 2, 3, especially that Envy match.
I gotta blow my nose and go pee.
Yeah, it was like the entire bar. It was like
they
30
didn't
seconds.
get through OT. You know, they capped in the nick of time in OT on first point. So
that is crazy. And while we're on that topic, what do you think is the most meta, if you will, triple Vanguard, triple strategist hold? Because we've seen iterations, so I'm curious what you think.
I'm unsure. It really depends on like what's open to the enemy team. You know, how can you actually break it? I feel like things like
you're hanging in there.
Now, like the cap Venom with the triple support is looking pretty good. Like it depends on like you can even play DPS sometimes. Like or still opting for triple tank is good. Like you can play mag there if it's open. Like.
I don't know if you guys want to listen to the casters analyzing this.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot there. Well, Chip, I wanted to
Oh,
maybe talk to
谢谢。
Nectar about this, and you can bring it up too.
Yeah, hit it.
哦，谢谢谢谢。Okay.
Times, I guess specifically against Envy, they do it, right? You ban it against collusion stuff. Maybe you can
Oh,
talk
I
about that. When
asked
do you
them
want
to get you
ban
some citrus
Doctor Strange? Is it just going to be
because of the
or you just
vitamin
want to
C.
get rid of the total comeback stuff?
I feel like a lot of teams like to ban on things like certain.
I think
maps
you need
or,
a lot
you
of
know,
vitamin
convoy,
C in your
especially on
system right
convoy
now.
allies. Like very important because a lot of teams really want to play for that. Like
Well, you
kind of
said that you
scrappy
didn't like
first
the
hold
way it
fight on every
tastes,
convoy
so-
map, and it kind of like
I don't
it
think
makes it a
that
lot harder for
little
them team to come back
expire
with all their
packet's
rolls.
gonna
You have
save
that
you.
advantage in the fight.
Well, on that, I mean, do you think it's worth it to maybe get like not even do a ban on like an important hero, or maybe if you're unsure about a ban, is that when you do the Doctor Strange ban and stuff?
Yes,
or
yes.
what do you
I'm
think
back.
about
I'm back.
I'm unsure. I don't know how I feel
Okay.
about that strange map, but I feel like if they have a good strange player and they're a team that wants to play that triple Vanguard.
Are the
hold,
cats
like,
with you
it's,
guys
You're gonna get value.
are back
Yeah, 'cause
at
it's like
home?
it's consistent in terms of the
You
ban.
mean are
Yeah, I agree. We haven't
The
seen as
cats
many
are
teams
back
as I
at
thought would
home.
run that, but I also think
I mean,
sometimes,
imagine
and I'm curious,
traveling
Next,
to
what
a
do you
new
think, but
country with
the
3
strange ban
cats?
sometimes comes through on like specific maps. Like, I feel like Central Park,
Let's
you
listen to
almost
Dogman tell
guarantee a
Nectar he's
teleport back on
lost
that
15
first hold.
times.
It just because you can use that portal immediately. It's not very far in terms of
Current
distance to
map
walk the
count.
portal, which honestly,
It
that
is
impactful too. Sometimes if you're walking the portal super far, it's
2-0.
difficult. And also things like Yggdrasil. Do you think that map dependency as well when it comes to the
Yeah,
ban of
I feel like
Strange?
maps like
Damn,
like
I
you
actually
said, Central
had
Park, Yggdrasil
OUG
Path, and, even
winning
Midtown,
this.
It's like couldn't get to ban Strange there,
Right.
especially if you're like. against
So
a
if
team,
they
like I said,
reverse
that
sweep,
really,
it's
like,
possible.
prefers that spawn hold.
And we can talk about this again that we talked about during the
RAD
map,
is
and
really
I think
strong.
this
I
is-
knew they
this
were
is
a good
the
team.
great part
I didn't
about
think they were
this,
going to be this good.
cast is that
Although the
in
first
general,
map,
with this series, I think Melio, you said how
I think
he is a very
the support
flexible player,
bans
right? And
was
that's
just,
the
that was
benefit
really
of
brutal.
Melio for sure, the fact that he can play all these heroes. And we
Imagine
were talking about earlier, like when you can play a hero to such a high level,
Yeah.
like Psylocke or who
you
they're
can't
gonna
play
be,
Luna, you
it's
can't
worth
play
it
Loki,
sometimes
you
to
can't play
maybe go on.
Mantis
By the way, trust me,
or
MVP, pretty
Invis.
easy MVP, I think, for us.
Who does that
Playing
leave
I
you?
think he played that map so well. We can go back to talking about Trust Me, but what do you think about like the difference between really trying to hard master a hero or trying to, improve your hero pool? and maybe
OUG was
fight with
looking
other
really
heroes? Like, what
good.
did that debate?
Yeah.
I feel like especially as a duelist player, you need to be like. You need
It
to
is
be
true.
able
They
to
might get
play
another reverse sweep
every
like last night.
character in the role, I think, but I feel like that you should be like.
He
maybe
needs
4 or
some
5
bite,
because you
Jahe.
are very comfortable and you like have the confidence that you will.
What
carry
does
this
that
early,
do for
And
the
level 1 plus, you're
body?
juggling behind
Oh.
Rajara.
Oh my! Wait! Hold up!
He's so locked in.
Let's see.
Cannot be
Oh,
stopped,
oh,
folks.
He's still going. Oh,
Hey, clean landing.
And immediate transition over to the Psylocke too.
Production.
All right, Prod, we see
Shout
you.
out production.
My goodness.
Beautiful.
You guys noticed that the rest of his team was botting? Going over
The equivalent
going
of
over
Dayquil or
going over
Nyquil.
the blue.
Oh.
What are you trying to say about Trust Me, man?
Trust me?
What are you trying-
Oh,
not
by
Trust Me, what-
Jahe. Oh,
They're just having fun.
white and
Yeah,
black.
that
Okay,
one's a
gotcha,
bite,
gotcha.
yeah.
That's the most
That
important
looks
thing,
cool.
as long as you're having fun, as long as you're happy.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Anything's awesome.
I want to
Silly
see.
goose, if you
I
will.
think that guy was
We've
level
talked
1
about
crook.
how
I want to
Trust
see
Me
him
can be
juggle
on that
against Jay, because Jay's a really
Yeah,
good juggler.
that sweep right there, OUG really changed the. I honestly thought when OUG shut them down on point 2, they had a chance of winning this.
Yeah,
It
you
looked
have
like it
Jeff,
after point 1,
Rocket,
so gotta
Jeff.
show some love. The momentum
Ooh, I
shifted.
wonder if the
Yeah,
Chinese
momentum shifted
teams
immediately.
play Jeff, or if it's one of those heroes who's just like
Reverse sweep. And you know what?
They-
I think they could do it if they beat them in the
they
draft phase.
overlook, and so
Rad,
no one has much
Nectar,
Jeff
you
play
brought it up
time.
too earlier on, the fact that Rad has pretty much won the draft phase twice in a row now. OUG,
Cloak,
I mean,
Ultron,
sometimes it feels like, yeah, you
Rocket.
win in the draft,
Yeah,
but also
they ran
it's
Adam
also a hero
Warlock in the
flexibility
last
thing,
match.
kinda, right? I guess.
Yeah, I feel like winning draft is like, sometimes it's important, but you can still like there's things you do. in the
Blonda,
map,
thank you
like,
so
make
much
sure
for the
that
tier
you play well,
1.
you play to your win conditions. I feel like
What's the craziest
even
thing
if you
he
win draft,
juggles
you can lose
with?
the game, it still comes down to actually how you do play.
His work-life
Yeah, and
balance.
Right now, I mean, dude, Nectar. This
What
is
did you
so
guys
much
think
fun.
I was gonna
This entire
say?
series
His
has been so much
balls?
fun in between OUG and Rad because of the crowd too. There's a lot of OUG fans still here.
Game
And for that,
5.
maybe we can go back to you
It
on
is
this shit.
possible.
What is the sort of hope for Team OUG?
For
on
OUG's
this
sake,
map? Is
I
it gonna be
do
the
hope
likes of Taro
they
Cookie
go
and
to a
stuff?
map
Maybe
5.
the flexibility of their
For
heroes, or
Jay's
maybe that's
sake,
more on the Vanguard line?
I am also
I got a
okay
duelist
if
line
this
there,
is
but
a steamroll.
I wanna have a
Because the
conversation about
earlier
maybe something
these
to change
matches
the game, but I've
end,
been trying to think
the
about this
earlier
after
Jay gets to
conversation.
go home
What
and
is the
sleep.
answer? I don't think you can get rid of strats because I do think Crook is a great man. I think Crook
Chat's
can play,
expectations.
Jeff. I think Melior's not afraid to pull out the,
Emily gonna sound
Ultron. So,
weird.
like, it's like,
Can I
what
ask
is the
advice?
answer?
What do I
don't
do
think
if I
you
feel
go
guilty?
strats,
My
and
whole
it's almost
family
difficult
did
to go
labor
Vanguards
jobs, but here
because
I'm a
you
college
just
to be
saw them
professor,
succeed when
and
you went
they
after
started
Vanguards as well.
early.
I truthfully do not know. I think what needs
Oh,
to happen is we need to
but
see this side of OUG.
The thing is,
really play off the crowd.
I think if you ever become a parent, I think you'll understand this. Like, we all work really hard so that the person that we love gets it easier, right? Now, I don't have children. I have cats, but it's true. Like, I love them so much. I don't want my cats to lift a finger. I bring the food to them. I want to buy expensive things for them so they live their best life. I think when you become a parent, that instinct just comes out. So you don't need to feel bad, but you do need to find a way to show them that you appreciate them and that you love them.
Dude, you've been awesome. Keep us young. I love it. Dude, it's been so much fun having on the broadcast.
I hope that helps.
Oh, it's great info. Oh yeah, we're not
because my parents did the same. They were very hardworking doctors. They came here, not here. They left here to go to America to give my brother and I a better life. And they also did a lot of manual labor jobs. They worked at restaurants to pay for med school when they got to America, and I really appreciate that.
No, we really
stress at all.
appreciate
It's just all fun. I'm very glad to have the opportunity to come here and cast with you guys and talk about the game.
Bowling pins, chainsaw. Oh, that'd be cool. Juggling his juggling balls wouldn't be that crazy. If anything, it's expected.
And absolutely, later on, we'll get Ara, another teammate of yours, Ara Mori, maybe going to come back on broadcast for the next series with, I believe, leg day.
Oh, it's good advice. W. Hey, I don't know how close you are with your family, but you can always have a conversation with them. Be like, well, Jay takes out his dad, who also works a very physical, very manual job, very blue collar, and they know. And Jay takes out his dad to all these fabulous restaurants all the time. And every family is different, right? If you ask my parents, what can I get them? They don't care so much about food, but I do buy my dad, like, he likes colognes, he likes stuff for sports therapy, like he's super into golf now. My mom likes purses. Everyone's receptive to different gifts. Some of my other girlfriends, their parents just want money.
It's not high, when you
money.
send these flankers on these deep angles and they can play these
My mom loves chocolates. I buy her a box of chocolates. See, there you go.
Yeah, that is a great play. One thing to call it so funny is
No, not yet.
I walked outside and the sun felt so good.
When you see a Mantis on your team, but
no, not Jenny, but Fran. My friend Fran, her parents just want money. I cook my parents' food. Oh, yeah. So sometimes it doesn't have to be gifts. Like me, I'm not a very materialistic person. I don't want people to buy me things. I like acts of service. I like quality time.
Right now, we gotta get Psylocke out protected, actually, of all things. They want to make sure they can play that Emma and RAD. They're very unique, I think, in doing this sort of map-to-map ban and protect system. And I know Trust Me does a lot of that sort of leading in that.
So yeah, look, your parents are probably really tired after working a very long day. And the last thing they want to do is to go home and do more work, right? It's funny because one time I wanted to show my mom appreciation. I was like, oh, you work so hard. And I bought her a massage, took her to a spa. She freaked out. She was like, oh my gosh, people are going to be touching me. But now she likes getting massages.
You're awesome. Thank you so much for coming on by. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We'll have to talk to you later on.
Dogman's so funny. He was like, thank you for coming on the stream. Bye.
That was
the way he said it.
RAD and OUG now.
Yeah, they
That's
are
so funny.
incredibly intelligent, and I love them.
I actually wasn't paying attention to this as much because I was just trying to listen, talk to chat.
And we're learning every day.
But I think he toned down the you lost.
How humble Nectar is. The fact that Nectar's like, by the way, like in a quick message, they're like, I feel like a moron right now. And I'm like, what?
No, they're killing it.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is unbelievable that you would say that about yourself, considering how much insightful knowledge that they had for us. There were so many things that I've learned that I'm sure you've learned from having them.
Of course, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the audience likely thought they were invaluable as well. It's always going to be good information when you talk to somebody.
Thank you,
rank
Marshmallow.
one, right? Like, what do you? Like, who else can you possibly learn from? Like, an incredibly strong duelist with some great feedback.
Check out Nectar's streams as well.
Jay's got 100
as my co-caster,
thieves.
I run Chip. That'll throw you in there, of course. But Nectar, the main star for sure, coming on here earlier on.
Yeah, much appreciated there. So Molan off the rip there on the Jeff is going to find Naga.
We were just talking about Jeff.
Diversity in the hero pool here. Taro Cookie building up Svald on the defense here. They do like to play hyper aggro.
This
Trust
guy's
me,
the
on
goat.
that cap now. Fate not going to be on that Jeff. Instead, going to be on the Cloak and Dagger, excuse me, as they move forward. Fate 75%. Closest to alt. That's just a Cloak and Dagger special right there as they move up on the high side. Jeff trying to escape. Molan just barely able to get out of there as Gonbei is going to be on that Venom.
Right now, kind of surrounding him. I mean, I like this comp out of OUG. They're playing that sort of style that we saw earlier that RAD played. So they're mixing it up, changing some things. And they already lose Taro, though, unfortunately, on the backside.
Trust me, with one pick here on the attack is maybe all it takes for this map as the ticker begins. Almost 2 ticks in at this point. A portal might have to come through. Are they able to do so? Not sure. They will touch here as they are close to point, but there's a lot of pressure here from Trust Me, who does a great job distracting not only on Venom, but clearly on Cap as well, as Rajaro was just holding back the front line and just beating them into their duelist. Trust Me, and they do get the point here quickly. Level 1 Crook and Melio on a pick now. Wow, that was flawless from RAD.
Yeah, I think if Nectar was still here, they would have said that RAD won the draft again, right?
Yeah,
I mean, based on what we just saw in the streets phase of the map, 4 minutes and 36 seconds left to go, Shib. And I mean, what a dominant first point. I need to see OUG some life out of them here, Shib. And maybe this is why we don't see Jeff necessarily on maps like these these payload maps, because on Domination, I suppose you want to be more shifty and stuff. For OUG, they're kind of struggling, but they do have ults ready to go, and there's a good chance they win this fight.
Yeah, it's a tough conversation to know when you want to really build towards that Ultron protection comp to let Ultron really do his thing, or let Ultron be that third strategist that tries to find some value. Headlock going to fight Trust Me early, though, and that's a nice pick there. Make Crook go down. That's 2. Do I hear 3? Headlock wants to walk this thing forward. A ton of ults still available. Good patience there, but Zhao was forced out to use that Fate of Both Worlds. Taro Cookie going to take out Naga there for a little bit of a stagger.
I mean, and Melio. Again, I mean, you called out, man. Every time we watch these games, it seems like there's always a Magneto player popping off, right? Headlock been that mainstay for OUG, and I think right now, I mean, no ultimates as well, just using Xiao Zheng, like you said, but that's how good these strategies ultimates. Oh, early fight coming through here now, Shib.
And we begin as we do see the Fate out again early for the side of RAD, so that is job well done for Gonbei on the dive. Melio, though, turns it back into Taro, and it's not done yet. They're really running through with this as they just walk for it. Trust Me was going to launch that Freedom Charge right now, almost taking Ultron out of the sky. Great bubble there. You talk about the effectiveness of Magneto. I don't think that'll go away anytime soon. Psylocke onto the backside. It's good stack, but not enough as Melio gets 2. Do I hear 3? Yes, I do. Melio, can I see 4 now? Going invisible, just waiting this time out. Svald juking like crazy, but it should not be enough. Not at this level of play as RAD is turning the third corner here.
The presence of mind, right? Not only committing to the dance floor, early fight had to be committed there by OUG. They felt like they needed to do it. Meanwhile, Milan, where the hell? He's in Narnia right now, coming out to the point, coming through across the map, going to eat the backline potentially.
Just waiting it out. Unable to do so. Tried to wait the full timing. Great understanding of Mac's timing there. That was beautifully well played. Not going to lie there by Fate, but does fall as Trust Me gets a pick on Molan. Here the Strange Portal comes through, using that Strange Portal as a wall.
He's going to swap off
Jeff. He's going to walk through and take this point now on to point 3 with 4 minutes on the clock.
And Shib, that's so demoralizing, right? Because I think he even tried to use the Jeff ult far away so he couldn't hear it, right?
Yeah.
So they tried to make like a sneak play, but maybe this is why everybody talks in terms of the best strategist players in the game, why they talk so highly of the backline of RAD.
Yeah, Molan going to be making a switch after that as well. I do think this is not a bad choice here, especially against that very brutal Psylocke there from Melio, but I'm with you. I once again got to show some love to Fate. That was great understanding of how long Jeff can wait to ult. You might as well use your cloak if you know you have a chance of coming after you. So
they're so smart. Like the back line of this team is so good. Not everybody is even having that timing down 100%.
Hi there, Snake.
They all take height. So here we go again on the Heights Fall. Going to put some serious damage up, but not for long. Naga does not miss. Does Naga miss, if you will? Pressing forward with the Endsong Inferno does land on everyone. Melio going to clean up Taro Cookie. Good combination and good focus, but still not getting too many. Psych Online. Naga finds 2 more, 3 more with that melee cancel as they walk down. Zhao and Hetlot. 1 left here. Gonbei going to have to reset, but he cannot. Melio again.
I'm going to need to see a little bit more out of Milan and Gombe here on these dives. Like, Milan's doing a lot, don't get me wrong, but maybe because of how the strategists are playing on the side of RAD, it doesn't feel like he's able to do so much, right? We'll see on this third phase of the map, but at the moment, I mean, you're against the Groot and all these different stuff. Naga, like you said, I think has been a star of the show right now. He's really enabled on these longer range maps, especially against the Wolverine and Magneto.
And Taro Cookie gonna launch out here with a butterfly. Does find Fate. That's a good early pick. Finds a few more. They got 3 more. Taro Cookie doesn't want this to end just yet. Wants to try to hold. If you hold before the third point, it is possible. Obviously very self-explanatory, but the momentum seems to always shift when you hold towards the end of these maps. And we have seen full sweeps on this map in this tournament. So definitely on the table. 2 minutes on the clock.
And it's just interesting that Sval also likes to play a ton of Invisible Woman. So they're swapping Milan back over to the Adam Warlock, but we've seen this before, Ship. They didn't have the Mantis for this composition, and they don't have it again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, weird. Milan making another switch here. I think that is like the 3rd or 4th switch in a few fights. So was back on the Wolverine there for a little bit, but we are going to see that switch out go. Level 1 Crook on a pick on Taro. That could be enough to buy them enough time forward. Good patience on those cooldowns, waiting until that crystal was almost full, so you did not get tranced. And up Headlock goes. Does the dunk happen? Good block there. And really well done by Trust Me to wait and make sure. Probably calling out to head towards him. So great idea and great block. Just catching it like they're playing baseball. Milan gonna find Fate though, and that's what you want to see charging up. Breaking through the Phoenix almost. Good shield there by Rajaro, who takes out Taro Cookie now. And they're still up in numbers. Level 1 Crook gonna have to use an ultimate right alongside Zhao. And that dunk was so close. Milan is gonna deal more. Does have this res ready. Will it be enough to keep the team on point? But Milan is getting driven backwards. Melio gonna take out Sval. Level 1 Crook on a headlock. Taro onto Melio, Trust Me, and the res is out, but I don't know if it will work. But yeah, they are able to retake here. Well done.
Yeah, they traded 1, so at the very least they have Pearson advantage now after the resurrect. But can they close out right now? I mean, everybody's sort of grouping up. Naga eventually gonna go down in the res. I mean, that was only big because they got a pick from the opposite side of Taro Cookie.
Yeah, I got to show love to Milan. That was great patience. He, like, really playing a dangerous game up there.
Yeah, he res at a really good time.
Everyone was trying to drive Milan backwards. Did have that res ready. Team has only got 24 seconds, so incredible hold here by OUG. Can they get this done?
I mean, it's possible. 18 seconds, like you mentioned, in RAD. They need to build up some ultimates. They made it so far already, so OUG, when they move over to attack, we're definitely going to struggle as well. But this, like you said, Chip, is going to be last fight territory, and Rajaro opens it up with Sonic Seduction.
And Rajaro with the trance out does hit Milan as well, following it up heavy. Does the res exist? We'll see if the self-res is up. Yep, bang. Down they go. Yep, Milan back in the fight. Out goes the Venn diagram. Surely actually not. This is just going to be invisible boundary. Phoenix goes up. Bang. Rajaro on Sval now. RAD is up in numbers. Melio, Rajaro, Trust Me, Naga. They want to end this, and they will, as everyone falls down, and RAD gets 3 points.
I mean, this dominant performance there from RAD. And I think that's tough. Like, we talked about how these maps, I think especially a lot of the ones with, you know, moving objectives.
It's unfair
like we have over
that
here
RAD can
on,
play Phoenix, but
when these maps are just so long, it's hard to fully cap.
That was a really good ban.
They got it done. They capped out the full map, and I think that bodes well for them moving forward because this kind of worries me about OUG, right? I mean, RAD probably has a pretty strong defense first point. They're going to have to figure something very important out because I don't know, something
yeah,
about
the
OUG
bans
is playing.
for this tournament's a little different than just regular
RAD
ranked.
is not making any mistakes.
No, yeah. I mean, the hold was good at the end.
It adds
I mean, the weird issue was the composition.
a layer of complexity.
Granted, they still won the fight through those, or able to hold through those, so it did not have like an adverse effect at the end of the game, but I think that that's just a sign of a team that's kind of panicking. If you see that a lot, you know that they're not playing together. They're panicking. They're having weird comms, and especially if you switch back.
A layer of complexity.
KO'd. So maybe selfish decisions, but great idea. And I think OUG has a little more momentum, but yeah, RAD is just playing lights out.
I mean, comparing this now back to the previous series that we just watched in, you know, round 0.
You don't want to drink your soup first?
I'm blanking a little bit.
There's
Citadel,
a soup. This one's kanji.
In that series, that one, you know, we thought they were down and out as well, right? So
and Lisa putting China for sure, right?
Down out, the other team that is losing.
This is my first time seeing the Chinese teams. Some of them
some sort of composition
I do share a history with, so I want them to do well. Do I think they'll be in the finals? No. But I want them to do well.
And they are going to change things up slightly. Milan going to be back on that.
I like the Jeff
Gone
pick
Bay
here.
Stay locked there. with that Venom. Gabe playing really well, and same with Headlock. So
wanna see
Headlock
a
no longer obviously going to be on
massive
that Emma
5K
instead. Going to
from
stick
Milan.
to that Magneto, which is finding some success at the end. It's just tough with Mag v Mag, but luckily right now RAD is not doing that, and trust me, he's going to be back on that Cap. Rajaro on the Emma. Here we go now onto the back line. Such a beautiful animation cancel. So many autos so quickly. And Cap does a great job at this point, just taking height as Taro Cookie drops Melio. This is a good angle here for Jeff. Spreading down the whole team while keeping the team healthy. And they're walking now.
Oh my God, the Jeff was
1, 2,
working.
3. That could be enough to give them presence. And Melio immediately teleporting over as the Strange. Will they be able to retake? Well done, OUG.
Well, this is interesting because this goes back in, I think, discussion. Well, Melio's pulling back, so they actually have a re-engage. So I'll talk about it later about the Jeff composition. But the stall comes out. Everybody's now regrouping. I mean, objective play is hard, I think, with this Jeff composition specifically. But surviving there for Milan kind of resulted in the first fight win. And Milan also took down Bait.
Yeah, this is the power of the spray, especially when you corner yourself in those locations. Naga, though, going to find Taro Cookie, even the odds a little bit, 1-1. Here comes the Jet feed onto level 1. It does manage to find as bang, down goes level 1 Crook back into the fight. Heals are out, team is looking dire, and yes, OUG will take point 1.
I wonder why. I mean, it's looking so much better than on their defense. This
Can you
Jeff
keep the
composition we
stream
talked about
on all
earlier,
night
how
so I can
you maybe
get
want
my
to play
drops?
these characters that can play loose, right? Play all over the place, right? You saw how on the opposite side, Trust Me dove onto the high ground, looking for Milan, understanding that he is the one keeping everybody alive on the high ground.
We'll still
and
be
sort of
here
being
for
that sort
about
of anchor. But Milan,
6-7
understanding the situation
hours.
is, drops down, swims
And
back
there's
up,
tomorrow
and you
as
can't get
well.
chased on Cap in that situation. It's too high up, and at that point, RAD lost control, and then Taro and the rest of the crew able to get collapse on the side of RAD.
Yeah, so Convergence, I'm with you. I think Convergence, it's difficult when you have everyone all over the place to really lock in your bunker. I'd rather have you almost bunker on point on defense, right? So that's why it's more difficult. Melio, though, going to find Taro Cookie, and that is going to put them up on the defensive side in order. Shield goes out. Trust Me, trying to play hyper aggro, but does have the cooldowns to escape if need be.
I just said 6-7.
Still going to walk out, no issue. Still holding on to that F, which is a good job jumping you out of the point there. Melio and Raj fade with all Naga very close. And on the opposition, Zhao, Hetlot will hold on as Spald will work their way to ultimate on this point. Out we go again. Trust Me with a pick on Spald. Melio onto Zhao, and they're walking now with the stream. Will they be trans? Good shield cooldown, but at this point you might as well fall with your team.
Reset there, 3 minutes and 42 seconds. But that's a good time bank, I think, for OUG. For RAD, the other side.
Jeff.
Oh, that's so sad. Every single
It
time.
got so quiet in the room when they
I
showed
know,
that.
everybody sees the Jeff on the ground, sleeping, of course, knocked out.
Naturally.
Naturally. Very sad to see such a happy-looking boy, but he's back now. You know, you can see his little butt wiggle
I
coming
love
on the
this
right side. I
skin.
love Jeff.
So
Happy,
silly.
happy guy pressing forward. We go. For those of you who don't know, MODOK actually made Jeff. Jeff, which is a little too cute. Yeah, a little too cute. Did not fit the bill of the Lamb Sharks, and that is some damage there by level 1 Crook on a headline. Out we go with the dance floor now battling back. Taro Cookie gonna dive in here very close to all that damage is obscene, and that locking of aim really strong. Out we go. Damage boost. It doesn't matter as it was on the opposition. Does not do much. Just get clipped by the side of the map there. Breaks the map open though. He's going to reset Trust Me. Onto Spald out of the sky. Good work by Trust Me. Now chasing Taro. Bang. Taro falls. But Jeff going to find if you thought it was going to be more than that. Bubble goes out. Can they get Cap off the map? Not quite sure just yet. From downtown it may happen. But the F button should protect Cap. It does.
Oh,
Milan falls instead from Naga. Melio onto Zhao now. And
Okay,
Rad
he's
is
probably going to
holding on
swap
like
off Jeff now.
Yeah, Rad's looking damn good. I think that is split very well for that Jeff ultimate. I mean, it's tough on this map as well to run this sort of Jeff in the next phase of the point. It makes sense, I think, for the first point, everybody sort of, focused on playing around an objective and playing around the point, but at the current moment, I mean, especially with where you know the strategists are and stuff, right now, as long as level 1 Crook and Fate are positioned correctly, especially now that they have that Cloak and Dagger to constantly fade up.
Oh, I guess he's staying
together,
on Jeff.
they can always dodge that ultimate, but right now, OUG, they have ultimates ready to go. They need to set up a dive with Gabe and Taro. Maybe switching to Adam does it, but we'll see how it is right now. Rajaro, again, finds these picks. It's these Emma Frost players that keep showing up, and same thing with the Magneto.
Yeah, Emma does a great job in neutrals. That kick, honestly, the beam, it does raw damage. The amount of burst you have when you're 100 out your beam. When you're 100 charge,
They're
folks,
like
it does
getting
give you double
spawn
damage. Remember that.
camps.
Trust me. Onto Molan. Finds one immediately. Trust me. Just so aggro here. Molan got to res back up. Melio onto Zhao. Melio onto Spald. Rajaro onto Hetlot. And they don't even need to commit ults here. They are playing lights out. Trust me. Only one committing. Good patience there.
This might be the best Naga, by the way. Picks up Gabe for
OUG
sure.
might be
That means this might be the best we've seen Melio play in the tournament in pretty much his whole career as well. So Melio, we were talking to him in the hallway. He's like, man, I didn't play that good yesterday. And I was like, what? You were like the highlight reel from RAD. But today, man, I mean, he's looking on another level in these dimes, trust me.
And alt advantage heavily on the side of RAD on the defense again, and it looks like OUG making some switches as well. Did I see a little bit of strategy play here?
Your
They do have the
cloak and
groove on the bottom
dagger.
left. I like the idea of the
Wow,
offensive, but now it's separated.
Tarka just
Strategies
keeps
down
getting
low, up
taken
high.
out by
Here's Taro Cookie.
the Emma.
Unfortunately, the team's not stacked. Meteor M coming in. Rajaro gonna find headlock. It does
Not
not
good.
look. We are losing ultimates like crazy as Naga finds a two-piece, and they get swept now. RAD is on a rampage, and it's tough because OUG did commit ultimates there.
Man, they had 4 minutes going into the second phase of the map, 35 seconds left to go. Now, it is doable, but man, look how far back this card is right now, Shiv. They're already back to nearly the beginning.
Back in the garage.
Back in the garage, parking. Beep, 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 back in the garage. Here's my garage.
Having some porridge
They have
and
nothing
soup.
but knowledge because a win is probably not going to happen for OUG today.
RAD is looking different right now. Gotta have to agree with you there. Gonbei gonna try to make something happen with Groot. Like again, we had that conversation around when you see swaps like this, you usually know something's either really dicey, especially in the last few seconds.
Unless Molon gets
Remember,
like
the touch can
a
conclude.
6K right here. Uh-oh,
Sky
no!
Molon goes. The touches come through. Naga gonna find headline,
This
and
is
the
so
time
sad.
is ticking down now as everyone is falling off the map, and that should be it. RAD are gonna progress forwards, and we will be seeing them again.
Oh boy, were
But
my
shout out
threads
to
wrong.
OUG, all the fans here. It's been a pleasure watching you
But,
guys have
guys,
some
I did
fun
say
and
that
great games
if this
out
is a
there,
steamroll,
OUG,
it's better
taking
for
it as well.
Jay.
Absolutely, RAD be taking out the team from China, the #1 seed from that region, and we're a very storied franchise coming into this. I think in terms of dominance in China, they were easily the #1 team. Nova always put up a fight, but OUG was even more dominant in China than